Hey. Hey sis, how you doing tonight? Hey Sharon. Oh gosh. Hey everybody. If you're coming in tonight, just drop a heart in the chat so I know you're here. Hey Janaya. Tonight's conversation is gonna get real. Because I always tell y'all something on this page. I'm not teaching from a place of perfection. I'm teaching from a place of learning while healing. And sometimes the things we talk about on this page, life will turn right around and test those on those exact lessons. And that's actually what happened to me recently. Hey Najee, what's up? So tonight we're going to talk about something that people don't talk about enough when it comes to healing. Healing setbacks. The topic tonight is going to be on healing setbacks. Moments when you think you're doing good, you think you're moving forward, you think you're getting your peace back, and then something happens. One conversation, one comment, one situation, and suddenly you feel pulled right back into your emotions. If you ever experienced that before, drop a heart in the chat. Hey, Ab. So tonight, if you're just coming in, we're talking about healing setbacks. Sometimes you can think you while you're on your healing journey, you think you're doing good, you think you're moving forward, and then one little bump hits, one little conversation, one comment, and then all of a sudden a little setback. All right? So one of the biggest lies people believe about healing is this. They think healing is supposed to look like a straight line. Like once you decide to move forward, everything just keeps getting better. But healing actually looks more like waves. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel peaceful. Some days you feel like you're finally free emotionally. And then suddenly something happens that hits a place inside of you that hasn't fully healed yet. And that doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. Anybody feel me on that one? Say me or drop a heart in the chat. So, when you've been emotionally connected to someone for a long time, especially in complicated relationships, your brain and your nervous system remembers that connection. So sometimes, even when your mind knows something isn't good for you anymore, your emotions can still react. Not because you want to go backwards, but because your body remembers the emotional attachment. So your body starts to remember that emotional attachment. And this is why people sometimes say, why does it still affect me? It's because emotional bonds don't just disappear overnight. Nope, they don't just break overnight. All right. So when someone has been a big emotional part of your life, your brain creates patterns around that person. So certain conversations, certain tones, certain comments, and certain situations can trigger those emotional patterns again. Even if you know better. That's why healing takes time, because your mind might be ready before your emotional system fully catches up. Y'all feel me? Do y'all here understand what I'm saying tonight? Okay, so what a setback really means. Now, here's something I want everyone to understand tonight. A setback does not erase your progress. One emotional reaction, one moment where you get triggered, One moment where you say something you wish you didn't say does not erase months of healing. So let me say that again for those that didn't hear me in the back. That's right. And a lot of tests going to be done. That's right. And that's again where the discernment kicks in, where you just have to, because I just went through that. I'm telling y'all, that's why I'm here tonight. I just went through that and almost thought the person was changing. And then something was said, and it was like, boom, it triggered right back, like, oh. And then it made me start going back into a place where I didn't want to go to, where I'm starting to say nasty things, hateful things, hurtful things, because now I just been triggered. So sometimes we have to understand what our triggers are, and sometimes we have to learn that we have to get away from them. Sometimes it's not the time, because sometimes you might think that you're ready. And then, like I said, one thing, one emotional moment, one comment can set everything back in. But it doesn't erase your progress, but it can set you back and it can trigger you off. So, again, a setback does not erase your progress. One emotional reaction, one moment where you get triggered, one moment where you say something you wish you didn't say, does not erase months of healing. It just shows you that there's still a place inside you that needs a little bit more healing. If you feel that, drop a heart in the chat. You love it here. Thank you. I love y'all here. All right. So now, one thing people do after emotional moments is start attacking themselves. Speaking for me, I did that last night. As soon as I realized I went a bit further than I should have, and once the conversation was over, I was so pissed with myself. Again, see, I'm healing, I'm learning. That's why I'm coming from a place where you getting me right here. You're getting me raw. You're getting the real me. You getting to experience with a person that's going through it. I'm not just talking about been through it. I'm talking about going through it now, right now, in real time. So, like I said, people do that after emotional moments. They start attacking themselves. Then you have to give yourself some grace. That's right, Ebony. Everything does take time. And sometimes, you try to rush that time in, and you can't. Everything is a process. And, I used to kind of feel like I was battling back and forth with God, like, okay, so if this is not where you want me to be, then why don't you just take these feelings away from me? Why don't you just let it go? Why don't you just make me not care anymore? And then I thought about it one day. If he took those feelings away from me so fast and I just didn't care anymore, then guess what would happen? I would end up returning right back every time like it was nothing, because I wouldn't remember the reality of what happened. So you're right. Everything takes time. Healing is a process of itself, So people start to say things like, I should be over this by now. I shouldn't have reacted like that. I feel stupid for even caring. But healing isn't about pretending the feelings don't exist. Healing is about learning how to handle them differently over time. So real healing looks like this. You get triggered, but you recognize it faster. You react, but you reflect afterwards. You feel emotional, but you learn something from the moment, and that's growth. The lesson in triggers. Sometimes emotional triggers show us something important. They show us where we still need boundaries. They show us where we still need distance. They show us What situations affect our peace? And once you recognize that, you can protect yourself better next time. So now that we are aware or becoming aware of what our triggers are, now that's where we start to set the boundaries where we can set things apart. And one of the hardest parts of healing is learning to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the times you reacted emotionally. Forgive yourself for the times you stayed too long. Forgive yourself for the moments where your heart still cared. Because at the end of the day, your heart cared because you are capable of love. All right? And that's not a weakness. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Have y'all ever had a moment where you thought you were over something and one conversation brought all those emotions back? Type in the chat A for yes, B for no, or C if you're going through it right now. And if you prefer not to answer, that's okay, because I see you too. I see you back there. Trust me. Yes. Najee to A. Yes. So I'm definitely going through it. So you like me, Sharon. I'm C. I'm going through it right now. Tyra says A. Yes. So I have a reflection exercise, right? So tonight, and it's not just for y'all. I take this for myself too. I'm telling you, what's good for the gander has to be good for the goose. Remember that. So I want y'all to ask yourself tonight, what situation